This is from one who believes. He says, say no to the groups. He put this out on December 22nd, 2016. There are people who don't want you to have money. There are people who want to take your money. There are people who want to control your money. You have to be alert, now more than ever. Here are a few of the cabal scams so far. Stage 1, ounce of prevention. The first trick from the cabal and their minions was to keep you from finding out about the GCR. They put out information that the dinar was a scam and had people making fun of those who were buying dinar, like they had some sort of disillusioned addiction. Then they even had the banks telling people it was a scam and that they would never ever be dealing with Iraqi dinar. I know countless people who did not buy currencies because of what was on the bank website and on the recorded messages. Of course, this helped the evil powers that were not only tricking good people into not buying currencies, but it also kept their own employees at the bank in line as well. Of course, this stage is over now, and even Citibank now admits to dealing with dinar. Stage 2, not in the basket. I remember this stage very well. It was always a question if the Zim was in the basket. Sometimes it was, and then the next thing we heard it was not. This was very effective strategy for the cabal and their minions because people who still believed in the RV, no matter what the bank said, would now be tricked into thinking it was now out of the basket. This meant that there was going to be an RV, but the currency had somehow was going to be left behind in the process. Of course, now this argument is all but over. We know exactly what currencies are in the basket and are not going to be tricked on that matter anymore. Low rates, stage 3. The next trick of the cabal and their minions was to quote low rates. This was to slow down the excitement out of the possible money that would be made on these currencies. Can you imagine how many people would have been involved if these super high rates, like $1 on a Zim at face value, had been known back then? This cabal trick worked for a long time, even up to this year. However, along came Joseph, and man, did he blow the lid on that one. We now heard that Zim was not only a currency, but a bond as well, which would be the reserve currency for all of Africa, and that it would be redeemed at face value with high rates. Well, the low rates cabal trick has just about run out now. I don't see anyone quoting 6 cents on a Zim with 6 zeros lopped off anymore. It's clear that all currencies will be honored at their face value during the exchanges. That being said, I have seen some post the ridiculous notion that the 25,000 Iraqi dinar was going to be $25. So that is proof that some of the minions are still at work, trying to scare you with pure BS. Stage 4, cabal fear. I'm not going to spend much time on this ridiculous notion, but you might have noticed the post that said to burn your currency so that the cabal wouldn't get it. I can hardly believe anyone had the nerve to put this out. If they couldn't stop you from buying it and couldn't get you to take it back to the currency dealer, then they tried to get you to burn it instead. They said to burn it so the cabal wouldn't end up getting the money. But this did not work, and I know this because there was no one asking if they should burn their currency. No one bought that BS. Stage 5 must be in a group. Well, here we are, and it is almost time to exchange. And the cabal and their minions still won't quit. Their banks saying no dinar ever didn't stop you from buying dinar anyway. The not in the basket ploy or the low rate ploy didn't keep you from buying them anyway. The burn your currency to keep the cabal from getting it ploy fell flat on its face as well. So what is the cabal and their minions now trying to do to keep regular people from getting rich and taking their power away? Yes, of course. That you have to be in a group. That ploy. I've heard this scam in so many different ways. We have a special connection to the Treasury ploy, which says only people who know someone in the Treasury will get to exchange these currencies. Then there is the I have a connection with the elders ploy, which says that only people with a special relationship with the Chinese elders will get to exchange. Then there is the no individual can exchange ploy, which says that regular people cannot go by themselves into an exchange center or bank and exchange their currencies. That they now need someone to do it for them. No matter the fear tactics used, the scam works the same way. You send in your currencies to some person, and they make a deal for you that will then send you the money. They will then send you the money. They will then send you the money they get for the currency. I have to tell you that writing this sentence was so hard to do for me. It was so stupid. Think about it. Think about this for a moment. You're going to send millions and billions and even trillions of dollars worth of currency to some person on the internet somewhere, and they are going to take care of you? Is this because they really care about you? Then you are going to sit by when the exchange starts to happen and wait to see if you get a wire or a check in the mail. This is all because some person you contacted on the internet said, send me your currency. You can trust me, and I will promise to give you millions of dollars back. Can you see how ridiculous this is as you read it? Do yourself a favor. Pretend that you're explaining this to your family, who are depending on you to make the best decisions for the good of all. Now read out loud that you will send your real currency, which will be worth millions, if not more, off to some person on the internet, somewhere, who promises that you can trust him or trust them, and they will get you the best rate, and they promise to send you the money. all the money they get for it. Can you see their faces now? They say, Mom, Dad, you gave the currency away to someone on the internet. You say, no, I sent it away. I didn't give it away. They promised me that they would trust, that I could trust them. And it was all in writing, that they would pay me for it. Tony said, I remember when Tony said something like, the minute this GCR happens, there are going to be a lot of people who have lost all their money. And for others, it only takes one person to sue the group, and it will freeze all the money for every person in that group for years in litigation. So while others are out spending their money that they got from the exchange centers and the banks, you'll be spending your remaining money in lawsuits, just trying to get your currency back. Choose sides. I'm not a follower of TNT or KTFA, as it is not my kind of intel. But with that being said, I have not heard of them saying that you have to be in the group to exchange or to get the better rates. Have you, frankly? I remember back in the day when Tony was still there, and they would say to ask for the contract rates when you go to the bank. Of course, we know that these these to be now called these sovereign privately negotiated rates. They didn't say you had to be in a group to get them. Frankly, all my favorite intel sources have never said that you had to be in a group to get the good rates. These are Joseph, Bruce, Fisher, and Zora. So you have a choice. You have to choose sides. Do you side with all the top intel providers, or do you go with some unknown person who suddenly showed up and says you have to join a group? The choice is yours to make. You have your future and the future of all the people that you would have helped riding on your shoulders, on your decision. Will you choose to keep control of your future in your hands, or will you let it be to give your currency and control to someone else that you met on the internet? I can tell you that I won't let my currency leave my hands until I have a deposit receipt in my hands from the bank. But you have to decide this for yourself. For me personally, I wouldn't trust a group, or I wouldn't put my currency in anyone else's hands for any reason. I wouldn't let someone else decide how much money I am to get, and what I'm to get when I'm to get it. Also, the exchange center. When you go into an exchange center, you have your currency in your own hands. The banker tells you how much they will give you for it. After negotiating a deal, you get all your money in your account at the same time, and you hand over your currency. You walk out the door with money already in your bank account and cash money in your hand. While you're laughing all the way to the bank and back, others are crying because they wonder if they made a mistake joining a group. And still others find out they did not make a mistake when they get a letter in the mail that the group they joined is under investigation, and most likely their currency will never be returned. People are going to lose their money. I'm sure that the cabal tricks have worked on many people over the years. I personally know people who believed the banks when they said the dinar was a scam, and others who did not buy them because they were told it was worthless. There may have been some who were so scared of the cabal getting the money that they burned they burned it. Now, this last big push to get people into groups and send their money away is the last trick the cabal have. I'm sure some of you already have been tricked. If you still have currency, if you still have your currency and you have passed the test, I call it a test because the cabal and their evil minions have tried everything they could to keep you from having it, and then other ways to get it from you. But you did not give into fear. You stood firm in your beliefs and faith, and that is what it takes to manage the huge amounts of money you will be getting. Those who fear now will be tricked later as well. For the rest of you who are still holding your currency, I congratulate you. There is a reason for the 7,000 exchange centers. It's because they are for individual exchanges. The real original groups go to Reno to exchange. They do not need exchange centers. When it is time, you'll be getting notification and exact instructions on how to set up an appointment to exchange your currency. That notification will be coming very soon. The bottom line? The bottom line is keep the cabal that the cabal has not given up yet, and are still trying to keep you from getting rich and taking away their power over you. They try to scare you into making a big mistake, and many have already been taken down by them. Will you be the next to lose your currency? It is crunch time now, and you better think very carefully so that you don't get taken out of the game at the last minute. Remember this: A, no one can make a better deal on your currencies than you can in person. B, even if they get a deal, what will they take as their cut? Once you give up your currency, you no longer have any control over your money. Many group leaders will be arrested, and still other groups will be frozen because of lawsuits, investigation, and or fraud. The purpose of the GCR is not to create powerful groups. Instead, it is to break up powerful groups and give money to the people. The plan is the meek shall inherit the earth. I took a lot of time to write this for you to read and consider. I have no group to join, nothing to sell you, no advertising, no income from this, no other benefit from it. It is my gift to you that you keep control of your own life and don't be tricked out of it. In the end, it's your decision what you do for you and yours. You may get everything you want and live the life of your dreams. Signed, One Who Believes. P.S. Shout out to Heisenberg's Word of the Day. The picture above is just too good, and I had to use it. So just click below and go and watch this, look at this site. Thank you so very much.